Hi, I'm Brandy, this is Hound Dog Hollow, and today I am going to be doing a book review on Everyday Witchcraft by Deborah Blake. This is a book that I've had for quite some time, actually. It's like, I've had it for a few years and I've just never gotten around to it. Deborah Blake is a really well-respected witch in many pagan communities, and she came highly recommended. I bought the book just from the recommendation of friends and on Pinterest. And for one reason or another, I don't know if I read an article in one of Llewellyn's like Sabbath books or something. Something turned me off to this author, and so I was just like, this is not my person. But I'm like, I have this book, I need to at least read it. So I read it cover to cover. And, you know, it's got very direct advice. Almost all of it is super good and stuff that I'm already doing. So my bias to this person was probably misguided, and so I'm glad that I did read it. I'm not going to keep it because there's really nothing that I would go back and reference in this book, because there are things that I found in my path already intuitively. But I think that it's definitely worth a read. A, if you're a new practitioner, absolutely. B, if you are a practitioner that thinks that being a witch is all about your Esbets and your Sabbats and your Instagram page. This is more about like, what are you doing every day? Which is what my channel has been about, like making magic every day and doing it even if it's not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm literally sitting here in my gym clothes talking to you about witchcraft books before I eat dinner. But I feel like that is where this book excels. It's no bullshit. Anybody could do this. And so I feel like my opinion of her has changed in that she's got good advice. This is solid advice. It is a beginner book, or it's a book that is best for people who are not really grounded in the mundane aspects of their magic, in that like magic is everything you do. Washing your clothes, cooking your meals, drinking your coffee, sending your kid to school, all of those things can be magical with the right frame of mind. And so if that's not how you view things, but you would like to, this is a really good place to start. So she has a lot. So one thing and this is a side thing, one thing I am noticing is that a lot of authors run in packs based on their publishing house. So she's in Llewellyn, and she almost always has other Llewellyn authors speak in her books, or reference in her books, or her materials have guest appearances by people in their books. And it's not just her, because I do follow a wonderful, wonderful witch who runs with Wiser, and all of those people also have grouped together. It's just, I'm sure it's not on purpose. I'm sure that they have collegial relationships, and so they know each other well enough to really be invested in each other's work, and they probably have similar backgrounds or similar viewpoints that kind of attracted them to this. Because let's face it, Llewellyn has had a POC representation problem. They have been trying to address recently, but historically they've been really, really bad. And a lot of appropriation in that they would publish authors on things like Native American magic who were like not Native American at all. So they are doing better with that, and there are a lot more authors of color in their repertoire now. But, you know, definitely, I would say that Wiser has a lot more witches of color. They just do. They have a lot more people of color writing about their actual culture's work, as opposed to Llewellyn, which is a little bit behind the curve. So, but they are trying, right? They're trying. So, but I digress. Long story short, there's a lot of articles from other people who are also Llewellyn authors. And I'm just saying that she's not the only one that does it, but it did stand out to me. I would say a third of this book was written by other authors, and that's probably generous. So basically, witchcraft in the modern world, there's no wrong way, which is a whole nother conundrum in and of itself. In general, You want to be able to practice however things resonate you, but however there is a wrong way to do certain things. There's a place and a time where there's more than one way to skin a cat, but I would say it's the wrong way to skin a cat if the cat is still alive, right? So that's kind of, and she does have that caveat, like, there's a lot of wiggle room for you to personalize your practice. However, some things are about safety and some things are about, not stealing other people's culture, and some things are about, just ethics. And so for the most part, yes, you be you, but keep in mind these are important aspects to not like go overboard on. So she did do a really good job about that. She talks about daily practices, connecting with your deities, bringing magic into your everyday life, 5-minute rituals, how to make time for your practice in a busy world, how to walk your talk in your everyday life, being aware, appreciating, having the right attitude, service to others, simple practices about nature, wheel of the year, lunar cycles, elements, how to do group practice, how to connect with animals, how to make your magical home, so altars, cleansing, household rituals, connecting with your deities on a day-to-day basis, and just recommendations for deeper study and book lists and other things like that. So all in all, I think that, and she's got a really good reference list with a lot of well-respected books that I actually own as well. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars, and I think that had I read it when I bought it, I probably would have enjoyed it quite a bit more. So that just goes to show, please don't let your bias about somebody get in the way with you engaging with their work with an open mind and an open heart, and just seeing what they have to say and taking what's for you and letting go what isn't. Because I probably would have really enjoyed it, and I did enjoy it recently as well. It was a nice refresher. I didn't feel like I got as much of it now as I would have then, because through just practice and trial and error and all the stuff, all the journey that I have been documenting on my channel, I already practiced most of this already. But it was a good read. So definitely, it's good content. I highly recommend it based on the content alone, because you really do not want to separate your magical self from your regular self. I feel like if you're a witch or a magical person, you are 24 hours a day, you don't turn it off. And so that's empowering in that things that you have to do, you can make magical, so you don't always feel like there's no time for your craft, right? Which is something that we're all struggling with. I'm super busy, and I always feel like overwhelmed and maybe a little resentful that I don't have time to do the things that I want witchy-wise. But when you listen to a witchy podcast on your drive to work, or you do a little gratitude practice before bed every night as a family and light a little candle to your ancestors, or you talk to your plants as you water them because you know that you're going to harvest this basil for a spell, and so you really want to talk to it sweet about how it's so prosperous and you're such a good basil. And those are all magical intentions as well. Definitely check it out. I'm going to leave the link in the description below. I'm going to sell my copy, so keep an eye out for that on my Facebook for sale album. But I still highly recommend it to you. Good information. So as always, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.